Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play 1000 Week Reich as India let us continue on from we last left off. So, our goals have been established. We want to form the Tibetan Republic. We want to form East Turkestan, and we want to establish Greater Tibet. Total war, I'm a little bit less confident in. Let's just put it this way. Yeah, we'll coordinate action here, because I'm assuming total war means that we are actually aiming to topple the Kuomintang, which, I mean, I would like to do. But unfortunately, we're still just dealing with the CPC events here. But things are going well, I think. Like, I mean, they're going significantly better for us than they are going for the Chinese. Let's just put it that way. We're holding the states. And we need, again, 3 out of 4. Which doesn't sound that bad. When are you going to be out of here? The thing is, I don't want to get you pushed back yet, because we want to control this area. But in order for us, we need Qinghai for sure, Golog, Haixi, and then Chamdo. And no, Chamdo is one of those ones, right? I know I'm, you know, repeating myself. So we're going to own 2 of the 4. So then we just need to take control of one of these 2 states. This one, Haixi, is probably going to be the easier of the 2. I would have to say. Like, we are going to need to take Goemon at some point. Delete this line. Delete this line. Let's push our way towards the city. Infantry divisions are going to start moving their way up north. Our supply hub here is now finished, so it allows us to push up further. And again, we're trying to get our way to Dihao so that we can establish the East Turkestan Republic. So we can do, because how many provinces are we? 1, 2, 3. We're 4 away, which is not bad. It's not bad. Upgrade our recon divisions. So the question is, like, again, if we're not doing total war, we don't need all of these units in southern China. Just taking Kunming is more of like just a haha fuck you to the Kuomintang than anything else. It's just so we can like laugh at their face and be like, we're so great and you're so dog shit. Which, I mean, works in our favor. How many provinces are you? You're also like 3. I guess we're maybe going to push from Red Army to Duhao in the from this direction. Makes more sense. And again, the other areas are their yeah, their original core states, which, again, we do control all of. Milan announces retirement. That is fine. I'm actually wondering, like, do we pull back out of Kunming? Like, maybe? Chengdu is over here, so we're 5. But the thing is, again, I'm wondering. Well, I mean, when the option's available, we'll probably save and just check to see what total war actually entails. Whether or not that requires us to actually completely capitulate the Chinese government. Because that is going to be a extremely, extremely tall order, to say the least. To completely capitulate them is not going to be easy. Especially because, again, we're approaching from Tibet, which has got to be like one of the worst angles to come in from. Okay, again, we want to keep pushing, because we're going to need to secure Haixi if we want to establish greater... Okay, I think you guys actually hold position. We're going to come in from this area with the Red Army in order to actually secure Duhai. Move you over here to support. You're still looking good. You'll be 4 provinces away. How many points do we need? We need 90 political power. So we're going to need a lot of points to actually get this done. Frustrated coup attempt in Argentina. Question is, am I going to just... I might honestly just cheat a little bit to get the political power, depending. We'll see. Malay has joined. We don't own Haixi quite yet, but we're attempting to. I mean, again, this whole area is not going to get pushed anymore. They're more than happy with where they're at. Hold you down. You two will join Red Army just to make my logistics easier. Are there any other cities in this area? I don't believe so. And if we take WWII, again, this is going to be a supply hub. These units shouldn't get any more supplies, and they probably are going to retreat after that point, which would be very, very nice. Hawaii has been given statehood, and the route begins. As we prepare to launch our expedition to save our Vietnamese comrades, we find that two paths are present before us. The differences are largely strategic, but they could play a critical role in determining whether we reach Hanoi. The first route starts with a military base on the Burmese border known as Namda, straddling the Chinese border and crossing Laos. The route is undoubtedly more perilous in terms of its proximity to the bourgeois regime, but it's ironically otherwise safer on account of its rural, sparsely populated environments. The second route starts in the Bengali city of Chittagong and travels along the Burmese coast, later traveling into Thailand and Cambodia. Although it is located further from China, we run the risk of becoming entangled in a local civilian population. I think we want to go closer because, I mean, I don't respect the Chinese anymore. Pan-African statehood, an alliance with Indonesia sounds great. We still don't own Hakshi yet. And now we do. Now we do have a majority of the states. Do more... no. Do not spend points on this. It's owned by the Republic of India or an ally. Now, again, the question is... does this count as an ally? I'm going to assume the answer is probably yes. What I do not want happening is the war to end early. I don't know what the requirements are for the Chinese to surrender. A journey to the east. We laid in the camp that night as if we were doing nothing more than camping. It felt like there were millions of us in Napta, although the true number could have been no more than a few thousand. Each man was equally excited and nervous at the same time, for here we were, serving our country on a quest to help out our closest, most endangered allies. As it is said, a friend is to be a judge in an adversary. Adversity. And we were able to already sure that then that Vietnam's bond with us was absolutely unbreakable. As my fellow soldiers lay asleep, I remained awake, listening to the rush of the Noa Daisheng, and I felt a sense of pride in the river. Though this was the first of very few times that I saw it, I thought to myself that it was a good omen for us that the river rushed and raged forcefully, symbolizing the strength in which socialism would defeat China. I heard, too, the tigers around the encampment, and thought how symbolic it was that before our quest to liberate Vietnam, we were amongst a ferocious, mighty tiger, just as the proud, gracious Indian people would soon be around the Vietnamese. Leah Desh, 1996, Memoirs of an Old Soldier, Delhi, the People's Publishing House, page 47. Okay. We'll see how that goes for us. Thing is, we need fucking political... You know what? Can I cancel this? No. I'm thinking we just spank political power for now. I honestly don't think it's worth us even, we're not even going to attack anymore. Just hold all of the line for the time being. Spank up our political power so that we can do our coup in Vietnam, or our coup in Tibet, I should say. Establish the East Turkestan government. And then presumably establish Greater Tibet. My guess is because Tibet is probably not considered... an ally, because we're not actually in the same faction. We do own three of those following. Like, I'm 99% sure. And again, we own Duhan now, which means Yellow Army, I think, should be able to push their way up and probably just rejoin Red Army. I think that seems fairly reasonable. I mean, like, what is China going to do? Like, this is really, really, really bad for the Chinese. Maybe that'll also will bolster up, a victory here will actually bolster up the route towards the Civil War as well. You know, maybe I'm just praying for that. Attacked by the cartels. Opium has been present in Burma since as early as the 1750s, during which the Konmung dynasty was in power. The Pacific War led to an uptick in the Burmese opium trade, as did the Indian Revolution and the subsequent Sino-Indian Cold War. The Opium Trail in and the subsequent, the Opium Trail, an Indian effort to provide support for the socialist government of South Vietnam, was so named because of its location and widespread, although unconfirmed claims, that the Indian military engaged in drug trafficking along the route. Not all drug traffickers, however, united behind the Indian government. Soldiers on the trail reported several attacks by drug cartels in Burma, particularly in 1955, when shootouts in the northern Kachin state claimed the lives of over 100 Indian soldiers. Various. Retrieved 10... Okay, so this is like a, That's not today's... No, I was gonna say, that's not today's date, is it? Like, they somehow knew? No, it's definitely not. That is fine. Hey, okay, 60 political power. That is going to allow us to, first and foremost, establish... somewhere down here. Establish the Tibetan Republic. Hey, excuse me. Hey, excuse me. For one quick... Okay. Game? Not happy with this. Mark state, mark state, mark state, mark state, mark state. Mark state, mark state, mark state. Transfer control? Must be at war. Which one are you unhappy with? Is there one of these that we technically already own? Okay. Clear all marks. Okay, we can transfer that state just fine. I think because we already technically own the state as far as the game's concerned, that it's confused by this. Which is extremely, extremely annoying. Yeah, it's because these states are already technically under our control. We can transfer this just fine. So yeah, this is connected now by the river. I'm just trying to make sure we're not... Well, let's just put it simply that this is very, 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 very fucking annoying. Draw your line like this, please. Red Army. Draw your line. Hard to tell where this actually is. Draw your line here, please. Hold position. All of you are here. Hold position. All of you are here. Okay? Very, very, very annoying. To put it mildly, like that's just a bit of a piss off. This is not a real line. Ignore this. Okay, at least we fixed it somewhat, even though it's still stupid. Let's just put it that way. Coordinate more to mill action, so now down to -2, which is good. We can go back up to where is expand the front. I don't want to do that. Cylon struggle, total war. We could do total war. Theoretically, again, if we had the political power, which I don't right now. Okay, the rest of you are basically fine. It's just like these two little areas that they decided to fuck me over on. I think when you connect here, it might spread all of Red Army's line out, which is not what I wanted to do. Red Army, I guess you actually don't have an attack plan anymore. I guess your attack plan is to push your way up towards Mongolia, even though I don't know how much sense that really makes. Okay, so yeah, you're now all back to where I want you to be. The rest of you should be fine. I'm going to press nothing so that we can actually generate our political power better. Burma is a land of many faiths. From the pagodas of the south to the Christian missions in the north, and from the Muslims in the west to the native faiths in the east. It is a land as diverse as it was bloody. Prior to the Indian military expedition in northern Burma, however, many indigenous religions have been poorly documented and were effectively unknown beyond their adherents and other local villagers. The Indian National Army was among the first to document these, taking extensive photographs and notes on their ceremonies, their clothing, and their lifestyles. American Museum of Natural History, Southeast Asian Highland Peoples, 2018. Okay, I appreciate us getting this back in working order. Even though, again, it was very stupid how this worked. They should be getting their supplies, though. That's really what's more important here. Because you guys are looking good. Are the lines for Red Army too small? No, they're actually fine. Okay. I mean, this button is very tempting to click, but we need to save up at least 90 political power to liberate East Turkestan. Let me just, again, check this. Okay. Tibet is at peace, or all the following must be true. Qinghai, Kamdu, Golog, or Hakshi. 3 of the following. Qinghai is owned. Wait, is it completely owned or just is controlled? Okay. It is controlled by the Republic of India or an ally. Qinghai is owned by our ally. Okay, next. Kamdo, which is you. You are... Wait, you're owned by the Chinese still? I thought we owned control of this. Ah, okay. I see. We need to take like, at least one more province, which actually would not be... it's actually not too big an issue. Are none of you moving to these empty areas here? That's fine for now. I'm hoping when I declare the East Turkestan Republic, it's not also going to break my front lines again. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I wouldn't be happy with it. Yeah, but I'm lucky. I'm happy now that Tibet is in our sphere of influence. You know, they're just a straight-up puppet state of ours. Spain has joined the UN. Ceylon, 300 for Ceylon blockade is kind of crazy. It is a -2, which I mean is nice. The belly of the beast. We find ourselves concerningly close to the Chinese border. 2 paths lie ahead. One towards China and the Golkak tribe in the belly of the beast. The second cuts through central Burma's Shan states, aiming to bypass China. While the first is a greater risk of alarming the Chinese for presence, we'll most likely find ourselves better off than if we were to stay away. Yes, I'm not worried. Thing is, like, where are they moving? They're moving, like, here? Like, I know the game has no way of actually knowing that we occupy this territory, but... You know, we're fine. Just put it that way. Like, we're not too concerned here. Also, I do want to make sure we go back to the go back to Doha. Make sure we actually do control the capital here. Interregular line out. I know we don't need units for this for now, but it's not that bad. Okay, there's not... At least until we're ready to push our way into Kamdo, I don't think there's a reason for us to attack at all anywhere. Unless we want to, like, somehow shrink our front lines. Like, that's the best thing we could do. But until we're ready to actually end the war, I don't want to do anything too crazy. Meeting the Master. As I ate through the last of our emergency rations, one thought was going through my mind. If I ever saw another piece of slightly spoiled ham, I'm going to jump off this fucking mountain. You had to split off from the rest of the group to go hook up with the representatives from the drug runner named Zhang Chufu. They said only someone like him could operate in this impassable hellscape, and only he could pay off the many border patrols running around here. A bunch of loud yelling and Chinese suddenly came around the corner. As they peeked around the corner, it's the men I was sent to meet. Except they were more focused on something entirely different. It was a makeshift stove put on together with some small rocks and a pot in the center. And the pot was full of rice. The problem was quickly apparent to me as the smell of burnt rice overwhelmed our nostrils. Clearly this guy was getting yelled at for spoiling a perfectly fine meal. Excuse me, guys. Weren't we supposed to be talking about some meeting? They immediately turned around and pointed their guns at me. But when they see that I wasn't here to kill them, they immediately holstered them. Yes, Tuesday, before the sun goes down. Don't be late, one of them says. He was clearly struggling to speak English, so naturally I tried to reply a bit more slowly. Do you guys want something small to eat? I have some chocolate I don't like. Their faces lit up, immediately taking me up on that. As I handed them some slightly melted dark chocolate from the last ration, they immediately ran down the back of the mountain. Leave behind their spoiled cook. Hopefully they'll be in a good word for me in exchange for this chocolate. Letter from Majmaka to his brother, 1955. The next event will be delayed. That's fine. I'm not too worried about the event being delayed there. An unusual sighting. Increasingly concerned, a report arrived today from the border with Burma. Our headquarters in Kunming are reporting a concerning influx of Indian forces in the area that appears to be increasing each day. Oh, wait, no. Wait, because we own Kunming. Because we own Kunming, it's confused. Armor support. Decrease opinion. This is so fucking funny. Because we own Kunming, the game thinks... Okay, so that's interesting, actually, that it's not a tag-specific event. It's a province. It's a state-specific event. So, but yeah, I guess because we actually own Kunming, and the game's confused, yes. We're actually allowed to do nothing. We're actually allowed to let them pass through because we own Kunming. That's actually kind of a byproduct of what, it's a byproduct of what we've been doing. But, I mean, it works out for us quite nicely. But I will say, at least for right now, this is a pretty good time for us to end this episode. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Not doing it, some down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.